the benefit of that as opposed to using the common application, as some of you might be aware of? Well, if you apply through agents that are working with us, like Worldwide Education here, then you're going to get a faster turnaround time. Sometimes you're going to get a better offer. We're talking about a 10-day processing time instead of like a 3-month processing time. And I'm not just coming up with this, I'm saying this from personal experience. Obviously, as an American student, I've gone through the US system. And I remember back in high school, I applied to 2 different universities and I didn't hear back from them for months and months and months. And obviously, when we're considering visas and everything, we need results ASAP. So when you're applying through our agencies, then you can expect to get a quicker answer from the university. You're going to know about a scholarship within 1 week of getting your offer letter. And within that same week, we can start processing your visa documents, right? So if I can go on to the next slide here. Told you I'm bad at technology, but also my computer just doesn't like me that much. So this is actually an example of one of the course structures that we've given for one of our students at the University of Alabama, Birmingham. This student needed to join what's called a pathway program, which is different from going direct entry, kind of as the most American students would go, where direct entry would mean that this student got at least a 3.0 GPA on a scale of 4. And they also had at least a 6.5 overall on the IELTS. So that student wouldn't need any sort of pathway program from our Into University partnerships. But this student looks like a 2.0 GPA, and it looks like a 5.5 on the IELTS. So this student, rather than just going into their first year, picking whatever classes they want, like other students would, we've actually structured their first year so that they're building their academic skills, but they're also building their linguistic skills. Now, I think all of you guys are not going to have any issues with getting a 6.5 on the IELTS. Maybe a few of you will. But if you're like me and you didn't really kill it in high school and you got below a 3.0 GPA, don't worry about it. We're going to get you into that first year of university. We're going to put you in a pathway program, and it's not going to be a waste of time. So this is my favorite thing about working with Into. It's that our pathway programs are not an additional semester or an additional year, kind of like how, what do they call it in the UK? Foundation year. It's nothing like that. Foundation year does not exist in America. So as you can see here, this is just kind of a little 101 on what university looks like for you. So in order to graduate with a degree in America, you need to obtain, usually the magic number is 120, what we call credit hours. And each class that you take is worth a certain number of credit hours. So it would be really a waste of time to take classes that didn't give you any credit hours, right? So as you can see from this first year schedule, even though the student is enrolled in the pathway program to improve their academics and English, all of the classes that they're taking are credit bearing. So they're still getting them closer to graduation. They're still going to graduate in 4 years or less, which I think is absolutely amazing. We have about 20 different universities within our portfolio. Not all of them have the pathway program, but we can apply to all of these universities with quicker turnaround times than were you to apply on your own. Now, the ones that do offer pathway programs are illuminated on this map here. So I am going to go a bit more into detail on this green one here, University of Alabama, Birmingham. But just to show you guys that if you are struggling academically, maybe you didn't get the 3.0 GPA, then you still have lots of options here through Into, and Worldwide Education is going to help you get those offer letters. So don't worry about it. My favorite quote literally is C's make degrees. I don't think that it's fair for everybody to think they have to be a star student in order to go to college and get the degree. America as a whole is really kind of holistic. So we like to give people second chances. We like to look at more than just your grades and consider that in your degree program. So let's go more into the actual university itself here, UAB. I was just there last summer, you guys, and to be honest, I'd never been to Alabama before. It is part of the Deep South. If you can kind of see down here in the corner, it is neighbors with the state of Florida and Georgia, and this is Mississippi here. So you've got some of the strongest culture. You've got Creole culture, Haitian culture, best food. Oh my goodness. The Deep South is known for Southern hospitality. So people there, they're on like a slower frequency. They're really nice. They talk kind of slow. They really like to eat. It's amazing. Um, the guy there that hopefully you guys get to meet, his name is Vince. And he's the type of guy that will wake up at 3 a.m. to drive you to the airport. And that's exactly what he did for me. So in terms of like vibes, which is always my number one thing, UAB ticks all the marks there. The vibes are absolutely amazing. Academically though, it is just beyond. It blows it out of the water. So a program I want to talk about first is their nursing program. So UAB has one of the most stringent and watertight nursing programs in the entire country. Obviously, we need really good nurses because they're the frontliners, you know, they're angels on earth. So UAB is a pretty large campus of about 30,000 students, but surrounding the campus are about 7 different hospitals. So when I was there, I'm looking around and I'm like, well, golly, if I break my leg or something and I fall over, there's already a group of 20 kids over there. They're already in their nursing scrubs. They'll just push me into the nearest hospital and be like, oh, I got you. I just learned this last week. And they'll help fix you up, you know? It really is a magical, magical place. If you're interested in anything pertaining to medicine, bio, things like that. It's also a state university. So the government is pumping millions and millions of dollars into state-of-the-art technology for the students to use and practice on. I'm not sure if anyone in this room is interested in becoming a doctor, but I'll just give you like a 1-minute spiel about how to do that in the United States. If anyone does want to be a doctor, I obviously recommend starting at UAB because of all their biology courses and all of the state-of-the-art technology, the newest labs that they have for that, and obviously the opportunities just off campus to actually practice. But this is the process in the US. Basically, you start out with a 4-year bachelor's degree. Now, that bachelor's degree can be called pre-medicine, it can be called biology, it can be called physiology, whatever you want. But you kind of need to work backwards from the master's degree because once you go into med school, the master's program, they're going to have a list of about, it's usually 6 or 7 classes that they're like, look, I don't care what you studied, but you need to have taken these 6 classes in order to get into med school, right? So as long as you have those within your 4-year bachelor's degree and you practice for what is called the MCAT, that's the medical entrance exam, then you have a shot of getting into med school and you can become the good doctor like on that Netflix show. I hope you guys have seen it. It's absolutely fantastic. But that's when you're doing your 4 years of residency, right? You're actually learning and you're also getting your hands inside of people's guts and getting all gory and all that good stuff, right? So 4 years of the residency on top of the 4 years of bachelor's degree. Once you finish your residency, you are a doctor, but most students will go on and get a specialization. That specialization will usually take an additional 2 years. So we're looking at 10 years to become a doctor in the United States. Now, just because this is something that just came to my mind, I want to talk a little bit about the correlation between STEM designation and your post-study work visa. All right. This is one of the greatest things about the United States is that we really want people to come in and give us new ideas. And we also want you guys to hang around for a few years and work and help us make the world a better place, you know? So if you study a major, which is STEM designated by the government, which means it's science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and all of us here, especially Chris and I, we can help make sure that the major that you choose is STEM designated as opposed to not. If it is STEM designated, then you are eligible for up to 3 years of the post-study work visa, right? After that, you either look for somebody to sponsor you or you marry an American. That's what my husband did. So, it's not that hard. But those are kind of your options. If you study a non-STEM designated major, then you are eligible to stay back in the US for 1 year on that post-study work visa. Okay? The process goes like this. Once you are a student on campus, you're actually eligible to work on campus for up to 20 hours per week. There are so many jobs, especially at a large campus like UAB. You can work in the recreation center. You could literally be one of those guys who teaches people how to do squats, They need personal trainers. They need a lifeguard. You could work in one of the libraries. You could work at the newspaper. You could work in the cafeteria. You could be a barista. You could be a professor's assistant. There are so many opportunities to work on campus, and you can do that for up to 20 hours per week. Okay. Once you have finished your first year, this is regardless of whether you are a bachelor's student or a master's student. Once you have finished that first year, then you can redeem something called CPT. Don't ask me what it stands for. I have limited brain capacity, but I know what it means. Basically, this is your opportunity after your first year you can work full time if you want to, or you could get an internship off campus. As long as that CPT is just under 1 year in duration, then it's not going to affect your post-study work visa at all. If it is for 1 full year, then it's going to knock a year off of your post-study work visa. Okay. But this is something, there's literally a lady on campus. She probably looks like me. You come to her and say, hey, I've been doing this thing for a whole year now, and I'd really like to get an internship so I can make my job prospects a little bit stronger after I graduate. Can you help me out? And they have an entire log of companies that they've already helped students work with in the past, that they're going to help get you face-to-face interviews. They're going to help you get in that door. And you'll have all those opportunities laid out for you. They'll even help you create a CV. They'll help you with the interview process. Everything that you will possibly need is on campus, and it's included in your tuition fees. Now, when you're about to graduate, that's when you need to line up your job. All right. So if you graduate and you have not lined up your job, that OPT, the post-study work visa, opportunity is gone, unfortunately. I don't know, they're strict about that stuff. So you need to line that up just before you graduate. And then again, you'll talk to the lady in the office, say like, hey, Greta, I got this job. Can you help me legally transfer my F1 student visa into a work visa? She'll help you with the paperwork and you're good to go, right? If we want to work backwards from that, how do we get the student visa in the first place? Well, one of the amazing things about working with Into again is that we'll actually help you with that totally for free. As long as you are a pathway student or an international direct student, which I'll explain in a second, then we actually have a team. I wonder if I had time to make the slide for that. I did not, so sorry. We actually have a team of women who not only help you arrange the documents, but will also help you with practicing questions for the visa interview. So if we're going to start from the beginning, this is the process. You apply to the university and you need three things only. In fact, I think you guys only need two things because, Chris, if I'm not wrong, Nigeria is exempt from taking the IELTS and TOEFL, right? Is Chris here to verify that?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, correct.
You guys really need two things to apply to these universities, which I think is awesome. All we need is if you're applying for an undergraduate program, we just need your high school transcripts and your passport. That's it. If you have been not taking school for more than 4 months, just literally write a paragraph saying, I didn't feel like going to school for the past few months. I wanted to hang out with my mom. That's it. America does not care how old you are. Like, it doesn't matter how long your gap in education is, you will still get admitted into the university. Obviously, once we're talking about visas, then that's another issue, but you will get the offer letter regardless of how long your study gap is. So you've applied to the university with your transcripts and your passport. And the university goes, yes, amazing, we accept you. Will you please show us your bank statement? So you or whoever is funding your studies will need to print out an official bank statement from the bank that's stamped and everything, so it's super official. Usually the magic number that I suggest is 60,000 US dollars. That's kind of for undergraduate programs where it falls, but it really depends on the university in particular because they're looking for sufficient funds for 1 year of education plus 1 year of accommodation. And those fees are always separate, right? So, for example, University of Alabama, Birmingham, their tuition fees are probably about $35,000 per year for undergraduate students, just off the top of my head because I didn't write it down. Plus accommodation, and by the way, there's always scholarships available, plus accommodation. And accommodation might be about $10,000 per year on campus, all inclusive of meals, right? So we just need to account for both of those things. You give that bank statement to the university, they look at it, they're convinced, they're like, yeah, they can afford it. Then they give you an I-20. Now, the I-20, I call it the golden ticket because it is your ticket into the visa interview in the embassy. Um, if you guys have traveled outside of the country, then of course you're going to be more likely to get that visa. And I know that there's always an issue with securing the visa interview. It's always like insane backlogs. That's why I always suggest submitting an application as early as humanly possible. But let me finish my train of thought before I get into like when we should submit the application. So you go into the visa interview, and my homegirls, Laura and Wiam, part of the team who's going to help you, they've already gone through all the hypothetical questions with you. They've already gone over what you're going to say when they ask a yes or no question, because really we want you to see through that question and we want you to be able to see what he's really getting at, which is, do you pose an immigration risk or not? So we'll teach you how to give elaborate answers so that you fully answer the questions so that that visa officer is really confident that once you finish your studies, you're going to return to your home country. So when do we start the application? What's the most popular curriculum in Nigeria? Is it the British system? Is it a local system? I know you guys have WAEC, right? So
Yes, bye-bye.
I would say for most students, and Chris, please correct me if I'm wrong, once you have finished your second to last year, so for most curriculums, it's year 11, and then you go on to finish year 12. Once you finish year 11, you have enough transcripts to prove to the university that you can do the thing. You got it, right? So you can actually apply as soon as you have the results from that year. And that what that means is that going into your final year of high school, you already have an offer in your pocket, which I think is amazing. And it's an unconditional offer as well. They're looking at those last couple of years of high school and they're like, yeah, looks like they're gonna probably continue to do well. Let's give them the offer, right? So you don't have to wait until the end of high school. In fact, it's gonna be kind of late at that point. Always the earlier the better, and it's an unconditional offer, right? Um, what else is there? Oh, if anyone in this room is interested in a master's in biomedical sciences, or data science or computer science, it is incredibly strong at UNAB. In fact, you'll have to submit applications even earlier than usual. If you are looking to start this fall, as in August, then I really encourage you to submit an application no later than mid-March. That's when you're going to have the best access to admissions, the fastest turnaround times. That's when they'll still have scholarship money, hopefully. Um, and some of those spots really do fill up very, very early on. I'm so sorry I didn't have time to like actually make other slides. I was with students all day today. Um, but I could go on and on and on. Maybe it's better if I just open up the floor for some questions if you guys have any.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I believe that they have a lot of questions. I've been seeing a lot of questions. So I think I will just need you to like list the courses that are offered at the master's level because I think we have more of the master's students online today. So if you can just
Ah,
give,
okay.
yeah. So if you can just give like a list of the master's courses that are offered so that we can each person can know like what they can do and what they can apply for.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it okay if I show them Into Study? Because that's actually a great resource for them to start, and then they just apply through you.
Yes, please.
Cool. So I'm gonna go to my web browser here. All right. Of course, the thing is in the way, so I can't. Okay. Can you guys see my web browser?
Not
Or is it
yet.
still on the PowerPoint?
It's still on the PowerPoint.
Okay, so I'll stop sharing and then I'll reshare. Thank you for that. Share screen. Okay. So this is our handy dandy website, which is really good for research purposes. What I usually do is I start with what major I want, because that's always better, right? You'll actually find which university offers the major that you're looking for. So what's the most popular master's degree program that we're looking for these days? Who wants to apply to like data science, right? I hear that one a lot these days. Data science, we type that in, and then we just filter it to graduate in the US. And it's going to crank out a list of the universities. And of course, the top one is UAB. It's going to crank out a list of all the universities that we work with offering that program. So that's one surefire way to figure out if your major is offered at the university. Then there's also more. Of course, we have so many resources and they're all spread out. But you guys at Worldwide Education, you guys also have access to the agent manual. So when you open that up and you go to the specific university, then it's going to give you the full list of all the majors offered at that specific university. But I think if you stay on this website, it's always best to start with the major and then you can apply to the different universities, right? But if we do it this way, let's see. UAB, let's see if it gives us a list here. Programs, you can also do it this way. So if we know for sure we want to go to UAB because maybe your Uncle Bob lives in Birmingham, Alabama by coincidence, so you want to stay close, then you can also look it up this way. So we'll just toggle down the graduate here. And as you can see, remember I mentioned direct entry, and I said that's kind of like jumping off the deep end of the pool, where you've got the English proficiency, you've got the grades, you think you don't need any help. So you just go directly as any American student would without any hand holding from people like me and Chris. I mentioned the pathway program before. That's not just for undergraduate students. We also have it for graduate students. So again, if you have less than a 3.0, I believe for UAB, it goes down to a 2.5 GPA, then we can push you up there. We'll give you a couple of classes just to make sure that you get your GPA squared away. So you can still graduate in 2 years with your master's program. But as you can see, we've got lots and lots of subjects to choose from. I would say this is America in a nutshell. The first time you guys go there, you go to any grocery store and you're going to be blown away by just how many flavors of diet soda we have. It's insane. It's the exact same with programs at universities, right? They have virtually everything. And especially for the undergraduate students, you can really mix and match to however you like. For the master students, of course, it's a bit more straightforward because you're really specializing in one thing, right? But still, even being a student on the university campus, you have access to so many other things that have absolutely nothing to do with your program. It really is an all-encompassing experience that you'll have there, right? To go back, I just want to explain this a little bit. For the undergraduate, I know most of you guys are graduate program students, but we're just so excited about International Direct. So I want to explain it a little bit. So International Direct was invented at Oregon State University, which is one of our oldest partners. We've been partners with them for 15 years. And basically it was invented because there were two best friends that both went to the same university. One of them had perfect English, perfect grades. The other one, the opposite of that, right? So one went direct entry, deep end of the pool. The other one had the pathway program. So they showed up, they had some classes to help boost their GPA, boost their English. And they also had literally people like me and Chris take them by the hand, show them where the psychiatrist is, so that when they start missing home, they know who to talk to, where the math tutor is, so that they do not fail math class because we are taking care of you and making sure you don't fail any classes and waste your money, showing you how to do laundry, where you can live off campus next year. Oh, by the way, you can start your own business for free in this building, stuff like that. All these opportunities. So when these best friends came together, they had completely different experiences at the exact same university. So we decided, oh, well, everybody deserves those types of hand-holding services, even the students with perfect grades and perfect English. So let's take those hand-holding services and give it to the students who qualify for direct entry, and we'll just call it international direct. So that's what that is. If I had taken that as a college student, I would not have graduated with a 2.3 GPA. True story. In fact, these students are actually graduating at the top 90th percentile of their class over and over and over again. And it's just because of that foundation that they built the first year, gaining access to the resources on campus, building those study skills with the staff instead of just being an 18-year-old being like, oh, how do you college? I don't understand. There's so much freedom, you know? But yes, okay. Any specific questions that I can answer?
Thank you very much. So before you proceed, I would like to quickly announce that for each student that is live right now, I'll need you to drop your contact details in the chat section so that we can always reach out to you and to let you know about offers that are available. So please, in the chat box, please drop your full name, email address, and phone number. That's all I need from you. So please, I hope you will do that. Can I get a yes from anybody? Yes, I'll do that. Can I get that from anybody?
Yes, 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 I'll do that.
Okay, please, I'll be expecting that.
Yes,
I'll be
yes, yes, we're doing that.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. So I think right now we'll just open the floor for questions. So I really want to hear your voices. We'll be doing I will allow you unmute yourself and ask your question. All you have to do is just raise your hand. I believe we all know how to do that. So please just raise your hand and I'll call you to ask your question. So we just want it to be in a very orderly way. So can I have the first person? Okay, can I have Adiola Olawi?
Right. Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation.
Thank you for
Thank
attending.
you.
Do I require do I need GRE? Do I need to apply for that course? And also, what scholarship options are available for
Okay, so
Anyone able to hear that?
if I heard you well, you asked that do you need GRE, IELTS, and you also asked if there are scholarship opportunities available, right?
That's right. So for most of the programs, it's actually an automatic consideration scholarship. So within 1 week of receiving your offer letter from the university, generally you will know if you have a scholarship. Like I said, it's automatic consideration, so there's no need to submit an additional application for the scholarship. Um, and for the GRE, most of the programs don't require it. In fact, I think probably all of them don't require it. If it's a one-off chance, then we submit the application without the GRE, and they'll just come back to us saying like, we need the GRE, but that literally never happens.
Yeah, thank you very much. So Bolu Atife, please ask your question.
Hi, good afternoon. So I just finished my undergraduate degree in
Uh-huh.
cybersecurity. So I'm
Great.
interested in the master's in cybersecurity too. And I think that international direct should also apply to me.
Yes, so what you would go for if you wanted that kind of hand holding, based on your GPA from your undergraduate, it would be an integrated master's program, or a master's pathway program. It really depends on what your GPA was, and we'll be sure to fit you into the proper category so that you're getting the help that you want and deserve, but nothing extra, right? We don't want you to
Okay.
take
I would,
like
I
English
would,
classes if you don't need them.
okay, I would also like to add that one thing about international schools, especially the schools that are under into what one thing they do that is special is that they make sure that they fit you into the best place that is best for you. They by the time they look at what you have, where you're coming from. They let you know, oh, if you can do this or you can do that, because they don't want a situation whereby you'll be struggling to meet up with your grades and all of that. So they ensure that wherever you are being fixed into, you can perform and then progress to achieve your goals in general. So thank you very much, Bolu Aspe, for the question. We're moving to Rita. Rita,
Is there a question?
Rita.
So sorry about that. Okay, I finished school 2020 and I'm about to do my master's program for in law. From what I've seen, law is a very vast course, especially in the US, and I'm having a little bit of problems maneuvering around it. So what's your advice for me, please?
Have you already selected where you're going to get your master's?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So you're right, it's not for the faint of heart for sure. But that said, people have done it in the past. Surely you can do it. I've definitely never studied law before. I can recommend a university that has a really great law program called Suffolk University in Boston. Um, it's great because a lot of other kids are studying law there. And it's also in the number one safest large city in the United States. So you ideally should go to a place where a lot of students are studying that program because let's be honest, you're not going to learn how to be a law student from me. I've never done it before, but you will all be in the same boat. So there will be a sense of camaraderie. And like previously mentioned, Intu's going to help you along the way. So there is an integrated master's program at Suffolk University as well. So they're going to be the ones holding you accountable to making sure you're not falling behind in your classes. Obviously, in terms of, getting the knowledge, it's a lot of autonomy. It's going to be a lot of just, discipline on yourself. But at least when you are part of the Into network, then you know that there's going to be people behind your back making sure that you're not falling behind. Versus, unfortunately, at a lot of other places, they're just kind of like, it's on you, boo boo. If you flunk out, sucks to suck, for lack of a better term, right? So
Okay.
definitely Suffolk University would be a great place to look into. Like I said, it's in Boston. The campus is literally intertwined with the city of Boston. So you're constantly running into different opportunities, different potential employers. A really special place to study law.
Okay,
Please, another question. Would scholarship be available?
Yes. And in fact, Suffolk is, I think, one of our most affordable master's degree options at the moment. So for the integrated master's program, I believe the base tuition is $35,000 per year, but they're offering an automatic consideration scholarship of $5,000. So 30,000 bucks per year flat, for the first year. After you finish the first, I think the first semester or first year, the tuition fees will be reduced to about $25,000, right? So yes, long story short, scholarships, yes.
thank you very much for answering the question. So,
You're welcome.
Rita, I'll need you to drop your full name, email address, and phone number so that I can reach out to you at the end of the session so that we
Yeah,
can.
I already did that. I'll
All right.
message you on Instagram now too.
All right, that's fine. So can we have Owo Icho Ame? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that well.
Hello. Yes, yes, you did.
All right.
At least you tried. So I wanted to ask, when is the next
Intake.
section beginning?
Yes,
Of
so
the
depends on the university, depends on the program as well. Again, if you go to intostudy.com, it's a great resource for research. So it'll tell you for specifically yourself. But generally speaking, if you're a master's student, you could easily start at UAB this summer. They do have an intake starting in May. Most students end up starting in August. However, that's the fall semester. So it's really up to you because we have ongoing admissions.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So can we have Chidera, Sunday Paul Chidera? Sunday Paul Chidera, please. Can we have you? Okay, Paul is not ready. Please, let's move on to Chiji. Okay, I think Paul is ready. Hi, Paul. Hi, Paul. Okay, can we have Chiji? Okay.
Okay.
Can
Good afternoon.
Hi, good
Hello.
afternoon, Chiji. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. Much appreciated. So I intend going for an MBA,
Mhm.
right? And I'm looking at, is it possible to also take STEM related courses
I
while
love
doing
this
my
question. Yes. So we actually have a few STEM designated MBA programs. I know for sure that Hofstra University has a STEM designated MBA. Um, as long as we're getting your contact details later on, I can send your agent all of the STEM designated MBA programs. But just so that you know, in the agent manual, it's the ones with the black triangle next to them. That's how you know it's STEM designated. But yes, that's the greatest thing, and that's something I'm trying to promote more actually, because MBAs are, so common. Everybody wants them. But if you're going all the way to the US, you might as well get a STEM designated degree. So yes, we will definitely give you a list. It'll probably be at least 2 options with some STEM designated MBA programs. I think there's even an accelerated one at St. Louis University. So it's just for 1 year, but it's still STEM designated. So that's 2 options already. We'll work on getting you some more options, and we'll get all the fees listed for you as well.
Yeah. So just like I said, please ensure that you drop your contact details, because at the end of the session, we'll need to reach out to you. And I'll also drop my contact detail as well. So you could actually send me a WhatsApp message, and we'll get it done from there. So can we have Eniola, please?
Okay, good afternoon, and thank you very much. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, yes, I can.
All right, thank you. So I'm currently in final year. Expected graduation date is sometime in July. So when did you advise that one applies? And what are the possibilities of getting a scholarship for Masters in Electrical Engineering? That's actually what the major is now.
Sure. So I'm not going to lie, master's scholarships are quite limited. Typically, the scholarships, the big ones, are just for undergraduate students. We do have some smaller scholarships for the master's program. Usually, it's a discount of like up to $5,000. And of course, if that's available, we're going to fight for you to have it. Unfortunately, none of us has the power to, uh, force that scholarship because it does come from the university. Um, but you said you're finishing in July?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm Chris, do you happen to know for the master's program, I think typically they want them to finish their degree program, but I haven't actually encountered a situation like that.
So I think the best thing would be for you to when you're done, so you could actually okay, sorry, okay, maybe Chris, you answer.
No, sorry, I wanted to ask for clarification. If it's for the scholarship,
I think she was asking that when is the best time for her to start her application,
Yeah, if I'm
and
thinking,
she'll be graduating in July.
okay, is she applying for spring? If it's for spring, then she can start after graduation. But if she wants to apply for fall, it's a bit late for fall.
Yes.
Fall is August, and if it's direct entry, many of the deadlines would have been around April or thereabouts.
Yes.
So it might be a bit late at that point for her.
What I'm
Yeah.
wondering though is if from an admissions standpoint, if she's able to apply before she's completed, because she's on the home stretch, she's got one semester left. So if she's in good academic standing, I'm not the admissions officer, so I don't get to decide, but if she's in good academic standing, I don't see why they wouldn't say like, yeah, she's done great for 7 semesters. There's no reason she would flunk, at this point. So she might potentially be able to get the offer letter even before graduating. Do you think that would be the case?
The challenge is that sometimes they are reluctant to make conditional
transcript.
offers. They want to see the final transcripts before they make an offer.
Okay. So yeah, in that case, probably apply as soon as you graduate, once you get those final transcripts, and the earliest intake would be in January of 2025.
Yes.
Wow. All right, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay,
Thanks
so
for the question.
Yeah. Can we have Blessing quickly?
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Oh, I've got
Blessing.
2 blessings.
Please, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can.
Yes, my question is this.
I studied pharmacy and I'm done with school, but I'm not going to apply anytime soon. So after apply.
I'm sorry, I can't hear anything.
Hello?
We need to pick one blessing because there are 2 of them.
Yeah, I think there are 2 of them.
Yeah.
I don't mind 2 blessings though.
Right? Yeah. It's always a good thing.
So please, I will hold on for the next person. I will hold on for the next person. I will hold on.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I want to ask. I studied pharmacy and I want to go into drug development, but I'm still having difficulty deciding which course to major for in masters. That's my first question. Then I'm not leaving anytime soon. That's next year around August. Should I start applying now or I should wait till next year or ending of this year?
So I just want to make sure I understood. You're still in your pharmacy program now?
No, I'm doing internship at the moment.
Okay.
I'm done with school. I'm doing my internship and after I'll do my youth service.
Okay. Well,
I'm 2 months to the ending of my internship.
the real question is, what career do you want to have? Do you want to continue and be a pharmacist, or do you want to go into management? A lot of people end up doing like hospital management type things because they're still interested in being in that environment, but they don't want to be doing the actual pharmacy component. So I think you need to do some soul searching on that. We have options for both of those. Again, intostudy.com, you can kind of fiddle around, type in different majors that interest you, and see the list of universities offering those majors, right? But in terms of when to apply, like I said, the earlier the better, especially when we're getting into visa territory. We don't want to wait until you feel like it, right? We need to think a year before that. So as soon as you figure out, kind of what major you're airing towards, then that's when you should go ahead and apply with Worldwide.
So please, I keep saying this, can you drop your contact details so that we can always correspond with you? Please, can we have the second lesson?
Okay, good afternoon.
That's
Good afternoon.
Sorry, my question is this. As I study in accounting for bachelor, that is undergraduate, and is it possible for me to switch to another courses if I want to enroll for this application?
Yes. So what are
It's
you interested in switching to?
I want to switch to business management.
Okay.
Oh, that's fine.
So that's not really a stretch at all. I thought you were gonna say
No,
something like
else.
computer engineering.
No. Is underlined though. It's still the same line.
Exactly.
Yeah, no,
So
that is not an issue at all.
Yeah.
okay. So my second question is this. I just graduated last year. So is it possible for me to enroll for this application or until my certificate is out? So I want to know.
Do you have your
Can I
final transcripts?
not yet, but we are soon going to collect it soon.
Okay,
Okay.
so I think once you have it, you can reach out to us. Then we'll put in the
Okay.
application because those
Okay.
documents
So
are
it's no
actually
need to wait
necessary.
until it's no need to for me to wait until certificate is out.
It is actually going to be needed, but the transcript is more important actually. So once you get your transcript, you reach out to us and then we start the application. So my
Oh,
contact
okay.
detail is
Okay.
in the chat box, my WhatsApp
Okay.
number. So
What?
please,
Sorry.
in case you have like a question to ask, I will need you to pay attention to other questions because someone might ask the question you want to ask. So please just be attentive so that we don't have repetition of questions. So I don't know if Sunday Paul is ready now. I called him earlier.
I have a question.
Okay.
Hi, Stanley.
All right, thank you very much. Firstly, I want to ask, what's the tuition fee for MSc in biomedical science? That's my first question. Then, as regards to the transcript, can it be sent direct to the school, or will WES have to evaluate first? Because I have my transcript is ready already, but I just asked my school to still hold on, let me know exactly what I'm doing, if they can send to me, or I will tell them to send to Wes, okay, so that I don't have to apply again for the transcript. It costs some money. Then my third question is actually a concern, a very serious concern, and it's as regards US visa. I know that an admission letter does not guarantee or assure a US visa. You know, I have a lot of friends. I know what's up with the US embassy and all. It's like the hardest country to get into. So
That's right.
how assured or how confident should I be that
Not.
I will get?
I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything ever. I'm too American for that.
That's
So
my
there's
fear.
no
Yeah.
assurance whatsoever. Let me work backwards with the questions. So for the visa, again, the university takes a look at your bank statements. They want to see that you have enough money for 1 full year of tuition plus 1 year of accommodation. Then you get the golden ticket, the I-20, right? This is 1/2 of the student visa. You still have to convince that dude through the window that you are going to return to your home country. Between you and me, I don't care what you do. You can stay in America as long as you want. We love immigrants. But you need to convince that guy in the window that once you finish your master's degree, you're going to go back to your home country, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes multiple attempts. From our experience working in this industry, the earlier you apply, the higher a chance there is that you are going to get the visa. The reason for that is this is totally hypothetical. This is a conspiracy theory, but we've been in the industry long enough that we see if students are waiting until the very last second, it's almost like there's a quota. They're like, nah, we've had enough. Like, just reject it, you know? So that's why we really want to work as early as possible. And that's why we want to work with you to make sure that you know exactly where you're going, you know exactly what you're studying, why you're studying it, what you're going to do with it afterwards, so that we don't give off any red flags. But Nigeria, unfortunately, has the highest visa rejection rate in the world. I think second is Pakistan. So, and there's obviously no guarantee that we can give to anybody that you're 100% going to get the visa, but by gosh, we do our best, right? So the second question, does anyone want to elaborate on that before I move on?
Yeah, so I would just quickly like to say that that is like one of the challenges most students have when it comes to the USA. They are always scared of the visa. But one thing about us at Worldwide Integrated Network and Education is that we have pre-interview sessions with our students as long as a week or 2 weeks. So far we can determine that, oh, you are good to go, okay? So we have pre-interview sessions with you to give you questions to practice, likely questions that we've had them ask our students over the time. So we'll give you those questions, we'll rehearse with you, let all your documents be accurate so that they don't see any reason to say, oh, and of course, you as a student need to be very honest. Okay, you don't have to lie. Anybody that, if you have someone that is going to sponsor you, let the documents be very valid. Just be truthful, be honest, and all things being equal, the visa success rate has been high over the years. So I don't think there's really a problem with that. And just like she said lastly, it's better to start early. Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
so go ahead, Stanley.
Regards my transcripts, am I to send to West for evaluation, or can I send through my agent to the school directly?
Okay, so as actually, okay,
go ahead, please.
All right, so as regards that, we actually receive transcripts on behalf of our students. So if you need us to apply to a school for you, you could have your transcripts sent to our office. So that's one issue.
Okay. So the school can acknowledge it from you direct. They won't need West.
No.
Okay. So what's the tuition fee for MSc in biomedical science?
So that will depend on the university that you're going to. We do have a couple that are more budget friendly, but still the minimum that you can expect to pay for any master's degree program is going to be at least $15,000 per year, but usually it's more like double that. All right. So we can shortlist the universities first that have the exact degree that you want. And then from there, we'll go through and determine which one has the most suitable fees for you. Also, location matters, right? Because the location is also going to affect the cost of living. So we'll kind of want to, put those two things together and figure out what the best option is for you.
And one funny thing I've actually realized over time is that wherever you see an affordable school, the cost of living is high. And wherever you see somewhere with low cost of living, the tuition is high. So not just balance.
God. Well, we'll find some happy mediums there. Happy mediums.
I want to come in. Before now, I'll be making some research on my own as regards schools and how friendly tuition fee is. Okay. And there's this one that has so much impressed and interested me. That's Liberty University. Virginia. Yeah, Liberty University. I don't know, do you guys work with Liberty University? In fact, it will interest you to know that the tuition fee for Liberty University for MSc in biomedical science is $8,000 per year.
Wow.
I opted for the 2 years master's program. They have that of 1 year, but I intentionally just wanted to opt for the 2 years. I feel it will buy me more time to relax, settle well. Even before the 2 years program, I'll be able to network better, and have a very healthy network around me, that will help me even in my postgraduate stay. You get. So I feel it's that 8,000. It's very, very friendly. In fact, it's unheard of. Okay, I had to verify, go to to every length to make sure that this is correct.
Okay,
You
so
know.
Legit, yeah.
yeah, so Mr. Stanley, one thing I would like you to know is that every school has their own unique features, right? So if you are paying for something, you surely get the value. So that is why I said if anything you like, if you have a budget and you see something that you want, please go for it. But we won't want a situation whereby to be like a discourage to other people, because for a school to charge this amount, that means there's something else you are getting that other people does not
No,
have.
of course. I'm not questioning why others are charging high. I'm just telling you that I've just been looking for a school that is pocket friendly for myself. Okay.
All right, thank you.
I'm not questioning other people. I
All right.
was just telling you, see what I found. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Please, can we have Dami?
So is there any relation? Do you people have that link with Liberty University?
No, we don't. Can we have Dami, please? Okay, Eniola. Can we have Eniola? Rita, please ask your question.
Can I ask? I have one question. Can I ask?
Okay.
Okay. So you mentioned at least $15,000. I want to ask, that $15,000, is that for a 1-year master's program?
Most master's programs will be for at least 2 years.
Okay, so the 15 is per year?
That's right.
All right.
Okay, Sunday Paul, please, can you ask your question?
Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Oh, thank God. I've been following you lately on Instagram, I think, if you remember. And I used to think it's a fully funded scholarship until I heard of the 60,000 proof of funds, and I was like, hey, this is not for me. Is there any way around for someone that doesn't have up to that amount to prove?
Okay, so one thing we do at our agency is that when you come to us, we tend to ask you what your budget is. So my number will be in the chat box. Please reach out to me later and we'll see what we can do with you. Thank you very much. Please, can we have Favor Godwin?
All right.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, for the presentation. Okay, I want to ask, do you have chances for master's program in economics, especially for someone that's graduated with a third class? Are there chances, or is there an extra or additional exam the person has to write to qualify for the master's application? Thank you.
Can anyone convert third class to American system for me?
Okay, so a third class is like almost like the least. So
okay, let me see if I can pull up my conversion chart.
All right.
And see. You said economics, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got a handy dandy chart. And we'll see if it says anything about that grading scale. Give me one moment.
Okay, maybe Chris can answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chris?
I mean, first we need to know the GPA. Maybe it's something she needs to check with you after the Zoom session. So we need to know the exact GPA.
2.4.
Okay. So we have to put that on the 4-point scale. Usually we need slightly higher than that for the graduate pathway. Like I said, after the Zoom session, we can look at the specific programs and see what the conversion is on a 4-point scale.
I do happen to know that there is a master's pathway offered at Drew University, which accepts as low as, I believe it's a 2.25. So that would put you
On a 4-point
in,
scale.
that's right. That's right. So that would be an option for you. I just actually texted it to some guy yesterday. I gave him a list that I think there were 2 options. Let's see. Drew University and potentially Illinois State and potentially Montclair State could accept. Because the actual GPA isn't super disclosed for the other 2. So we could apply for all 3 of those and see. Drew for sure would accept you with the integrated master's program or the graduate pathway. For the other ones, they might just assess you like they do for a lot of other American students, which is kind of the more holistic view. So they'll take into consideration any experience that you have, because they don't want to, you can't assess one person just on their GPA.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple of options we can try for you.
Okay, so one other thing I would like to point out is that as a student applying to the United States of America, there are some other things they look out for in your application. So in your CV, endeavor to state your extracurricular activities. So those are some of the things that they look out for as well. And in your SOP, make sure that you cover everything you do and what you intend to do with the degree at the end of the day, why you are interested in the course. So basically, those are still some of the things we'll put you through if you decide to. Of course, I know and I'm convinced that a lot of you would like to work with us. So those are some of the things that we'll put you through. So this session has to end by 2 p.m. so that everybody can have a lovely Friday. So I'll just be taking the 4 people that, so I would like you to like be very brief. So can we have Dami? Okay, so if Dami is not ready, can we have Shijo Ade?
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
please.
Okay, so thank you very much for this session, really. And I want to ask, right? So let's say you have, like, for me, I have a BSc in economics, right? And over time, so I have a number of work experience, right, in economics, in like consulting, financial consulting, right? However, I want to change field to psychology, developmental psychology. Now, noting that I have done some courses, right? So just like online courses on child psychology, counseling, right, and the likes. And then I also have a non-governmental organization, right, for children. So I not as if, okay, I studied financial, like economics, right? But I do not just want to do economics anymore. So I want to like move to another career. So how is this possible, right? And I know that like applying for master's, PhD, whatsoever, most of the time you're considered to like have done prior maybe BSc in psychology or something else before moving to that. So can you please like shed more light on that, and how can I navigate to actually move to this new field?
Yeah, so some universities, some programs really, will want you to have a background in psychology, and it also matters what type of psychology program you want to go into. Like if you just want to go into general psychology, then it probably won't be an issue. But if you want to go into like clinical psychology, then some of the programs will require you to take some additional classes, kind of like a bridge program, to get into that program. So we would need to narrow down exactly which master's program you are looking for and work back from there. If you are in good academic,
I earlier mentioned that I'm looking, no, not clinical psychology, so developmental psychology.
Okay. And would you want to use that in like an educational setting or a clinical setting?
Educational setting.
Okay. So for that, I think in the US system, usually they are a bit stringent. We might need to find an additional program for you. I don't think it would be part of Into though. I honestly don't have too much experience with this one, but I know from a person who's interested in psychology myself, from a non-psych background, that it usually isn't as simple as just 1 + 1 = 2. There usually has to be an additional thing in there in order to pursue that as a master's in the US. So we'll take down your contact details and do some more hunting on that for you, okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Graceful.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
So can we have one last person?
Thank you for your question.
Maybe Jesus told me. And please don't forget to drop your contact details, your full name, email address, and phone number so that we can reach out to you. I'll also be dropping my WhatsApp number in the chat box, please. If you'd like to progress immediately, please send me a WhatsApp message and I'll be glad to assist you. So I don't think anybody is available to ask any question. So I would just like to say thank you so much for your time so far. Unfortunately, Sophie, we have to go now, but please, I'll be dropping my phone number in the chat box. Please reach out to me. And just like I said, I'll be willing to assist you. So thank you very much for everyone that joined this session. Thank you so much, Greta. Thank you, Chris, for assisting. And I also want to give a very big shout out to everyone that is online today. We love you guys so much, and we do hope that you achieve your study abroad dreams. Please, okay, yeah, so I don't know if Greta has anything to say.
I just wanted to say thank you so much. Also, thanks for being so gracious with me being late. It's crazy times over here. I'm based in Dubai, so we're all doing as much as we can before Ramadan, of course. But I'm so grateful that you guys gave me the time to speak with you all today. I hope that eventually we all cross paths. Like said before, let's get your educational goals achieved, and we're here to help you no matter what.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Have a great day. Have a good weekend. God bless.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Thank you and
Bye.
bye.
All right, bye.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for a well-organized session, and
You're welcome.
we'll be in touch.
Of course.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, bye.